Joining us live from the New England Revolution, no stranger to our show, Teal Bunbury. Teal, welcome again, my friend.
Thanks, Anthony. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure's all mine, Teal. Big game coming up against TFC in less than 24 hours. But before we get to that, Teal, had your dad on the show hours after the announcement that Minnesota would get an MLS franchise. He was ecstatic. He was happy. A special place that area is to him and to you. Talk a little bit about Minnesota getting an MLS franchise. How great is that to see?
I think it's really great. I mean, it's so exciting for that state, the community, and just the fan base of soccer there. I've been living there since I was in the 4th grade, so about 14 years of my life I was living there, and it holds a special place in my heart for sure. And I always hoped that they would get an MLS team, and to hear the announcement, a couple months ago, was really exciting for me. And I knew a lot of people back home were excited about it. It just is a testament to all the true fans there for the sport and how much it's growing in this country.
Teal, I got to tell you, 2 of my sons went to tournaments in the Minnesota area years ago. I think it was the Schwann's Cup or the USA Cup. And that area is huge at the grassroots level. Talk about the grassroots youth clubs around there. Some great things that they're doing with a lot of players, going to NCAA schools and playing in Europe and also in MLS.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, they have the huge tournaments, the USA, Schwann's Cup there. And it brings teams from all over the world, actually. And that complex is huge. I don't even know the exact number of fields, but I know it's, over 20 fields or something like that. And it's just, growing up there, it was awesome to see how much soccer was valued for, the youth there. So whenever I'm able to go back home and able to see, all the youth and young people playing the sport, and it's a very diverse area as well. So there's a lot of culture with the sport, and I think it's just growing exponentially every year. So for them to get an MLS team, it's awesome. Outstanding.
Teal, let's get to the game against TFC coming up tomorrow. Obviously, you guys have looked at tape. You've looked at how Jovinko, Bradley, Altidore have really sliced and diced some of their opponents early on. How are you guys going to attack and really focus in on those guys to keep them at bay? What has your coaching and coaching staff said to you guys about them?
We know those 3, really spearhead their team, and they have so much quality, and they bring a lot to their team, whether it's scoring, assisting each other, even working off the ball. So we already know what they can do. Ultimately, though, when we go into games, we try to focus. We try to get an understanding of the other team and their key players, but then we try to just focus on ourselves when we're out there. We're playing at home, and we're going to want to take the game to them and really focus on ourselves, and that's, moving the ball quick, finding gaps, and trying to exploit, the opportunities they give us, and also try to capitalize on our chances and have a killer instinct.
Teal, how great is it to play with Jermaine Jones? I watch this guy, and he's a warrior. I watch this guy. He's effortless. He's got a smile on his face, whether he gets tackled down hard, whether he's playing 90 minutes plus and he's giving it your all. But this is the type of guy, honestly, Teal, I'd like to get a lot of highlights and put them all together and send them to kids all over that would love to play the position he plays. And I'd say, look, watch this guy, and this is how you're going to learn how to play that position spot on.
Yeah, I mean, it's great playing with him. He just pushes my game that much more. And he has a great leadership role on this team. I mean, he's a veteran. He's played in Champions League. He's played over in Europe. So he understands what it takes to win games. And it's nice to see a veteran player and an older player, come into this league and come into this team and give all his effort. He's always working hard. He's not taking any plays off. And I really think that sets the tone for other guys and younger guys to say, hey, this is something you should try to emulate. And I think he brings the best out of all the players on New England, and we try to, improve our game as well.
Teal, you mentioned about Jermaine Jones coming back to North American soil, playing here, and a lot of guys are coming here now. And guys of big name like Kaká, like Jovinko, on and on. This has got to be outstanding for a guy like you, growing up in North America, now going up against some of the heavyweights. But it's also great for some of the young guys like a Farrell on your squad and other young guys around the league to go up against some of the biggest and best names. Years ago, Teal, I don't need to tell you this, they talked about MLS being a vacation league from the players that were coming from Europe just to come here and wrap it up and enjoy. No longer is that the case.
Yeah, it's definitely not the case anymore. Like you said, there's big-time players coming to this league, and it's not a walk in the park for those guys either when they're coming here. And it's great to see that they're coming here and putting the work in and showcasing their talents. And I think it's only, beneficial to this league. And, there's a lot of still potential that this league can maximize. But I think it's becoming clear and clear that this is, one of the leagues players want to play in. And, we're getting guys that are in their prime and not well past their prime that still want to come here and, give a little bit of what they have left.
Teal, health-wise, we're hoping that you're at 100% and getting better and better each week out because, as you know, in MLS, there's a lot of great facilities out there, grass, beautiful stadiums, but there's also some with the artificial turf that take a wear and tear on your body and so many players out there. It's got to be hard to adjust week in and week out where you're traveling, what stadium has what surface, to adjust your mind, to adjust to the bounce. This in itself has to take at least some time to look over as you go to the opponent's fields.
Yeah, here in New England we play on, turf. And, at times, when you're in this league and you have to play some games on turf, some guys like it, some guys don't. Everybody has their own preference. And, ideally I feel like every player would love to play on grass fields everywhere. But, it's part of the game. And I think it's just like anything, where if you're going on the road in a hostile environment, the fans are crazy, or, maybe the pitch isn't the best, it's got divots, or, it's not wet, or things like that. So there's always going to be little outside influences that you truly can't control, but, everyone has to play on it. Everyone has to perform, and that's really what it comes down to, is trying to get mentally prepared for doing what you can control, and that's, playing your game.
Teal, you look at the new teams that have come in. Orlando, you just faced them with Kaká, Breck Shea, the local Canadian kid Kyle Larn, who scored another goal. And you also look at New York City, their derby that took place. I mean, these are great things that are happening, that are taking place in MLS, and you're starting to get more and more attention from media around the world that want to come and cover this league and cover a lot of different teams. Have you noticed yourself as well, in the number of years you've been in MLS, that there is more and more coverage? Where I remember I've been covering MLS for years. You'd only find a couple guys attending games, but now you have about 10 to 12 guys, depending in which city you're in.
Yeah, it's really awesome being a part of this league now. This is my 6th season, and just seeing the growth from my first season until now has been tremendous. I mean, it's really taking this league to a whole nother level, bringing in top-notch guys, having soccer-specific stadiums, and just the fan base is growing. Having a couple World Cups, the past 2 World Cups, has really grown the fan base here in the States, and I think it can only get better from here.
Let me ask you this before we let you go, Teal. We really appreciate your time getting ready for a big game against TFC. We always want to give the kids out there some tips to help their game out. The summer is in full swing now here in North America. A lot of youth clubs are out there in tournaments and playing league games. And, you're going to get a lot of great young talent out there, but you're going to get some kids that are struggling confidence-wise and really want to be where that other player is with that type of talent. What in your mind do some of these young players need to do to possibly maybe live the dream like a Teal Bunbury, play professional soccer, travel in some of the greatest cities, eat in some of the greatest restaurants? What do they need to do?
There's a lot of things people could say, but I think ultimately it comes down to these kids kind of enjoying the game, making sure that they're having fun, and having their parents there to, make sure that they're enjoying the games, being pushed a little bit. At times they're going to be out of their comfort zone, but they really got to put the work in. It might be a very generic answer, or a lot of people might say it, but it's definitely putting the work in. And there's always going to be other kids out there that might be training hard, but you have to take it upon yourself if you really want to make it to the next level. You do have to put the work in, and ultimately just have fun with it. If it's something that you don't really enjoy, then maybe it's not for you. But it's something that at times it's going to test you. But through those tests, that's how you figure out if it's something you want to do, and if you'll be able to endure it and have a long career with it.
Teal Bunbury of New England Revolution, outstanding. Always having you on our show, Red Card. God bless the rest of the season. Good luck against TFC. And again, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, my friend.
Thanks so much, Anthony. I really appreciate it. Always a pleasure being on.
Pleasure's all mine. Teal Bunbury of the New England Revolution getting ready to take on TFC. This guy is a class act. Got to tell you, I'm a huge, huge fan of his dad. And I got still a jersey of his dad with Team Canada. Doesn't fit me anymore because gained a few pounds over the year, but his dad was my favorite player. Still got a tear in my eye watching him against Mexico here at Varsity Stadium take on Mexico here in the World Cup qualifying back in the 90s. It was an unbelievable moment. A lot of people love his daddy up here. A lot of people love the Bunbury family.